Hello, hello? Can you guys hear me?
¿Me perdonas?
Alright, nice. Hello, everybody. So, I got the full 4K video here in the editor. And what I wanted to do today is basically analyze the trailer, especially the gameplay portions, the parts that don't seem like cutscenes at all. They seem just like fights. And I wanted to look at from what it seems, it's basically built off of Dark Souls 3. The movement, the attacks, just how the player works. And there is a lot of additions, obviously, like the horse, and then there is the jumping, which, yeah, like all of this is really, really interesting. But it looks like that's my theory. And actually, I am 100% sure that some of the animations are just going to be straight from the other games, because they have done this before. Or they're going to be almost exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is skip to this part, this enemy. Or how do I control the master volume in Premiere? I forget. But here what we're going to first do is in the part where this enemy shows up.
Someone must extinguish thy flame.
So we get a thing of a roll here, and we see that he actually block or move cancels out of the roll. So what we're going to do is take the first frame that he rolls, or appears to roll. Right, because there's animation, blending, whatever. We can't get a single time where he does, but it looks like this is... Oh, wait, oh, shit, I skipped to the end. So let's go 120 again. So yeah, it's going to be more like Dark Souls 4. I think it's like a spiritual successor. But, so, going back to this part, what I'm going to do okay, so the first frame that he actually starts to move into that animation, it appears, would be this one. So we're going to make a cut here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Or I could actually just skip to that part and then, you know, just use a timeline thing. Here, so when does he actually start walking? Because the animation blending, it's a bit hard to get down, but we can actually have the Dark Souls 3 for reference, and it looks almost exactly the same in terms of like how it gets up. Hello, big potatoes. Alright. It seems he gets up a bit irregularly here. So maybe that is the moment that he starts walking. But let's just say right here is the point that it ends, right? So the roll starts from here to here before it like goes into a different animation, let's say. Then that would be, so this is 60 FPS time code. So that would be 34 to minus 11. So 45 frames. That would be, if we got the calculator out, we went 45 divided by 60. 3/4 of a second. Now let's see how fast in Dark Souls 3 you can cancel out of it. 22 frames and 30 FPS you can walk. Dude, it's almost exactly the same. So, in this clip, we guessed the time that, from the beginning of the roll to where he walked out of it, where he canceled it with movement, was 3/4 of a second, so 0.75. And then we calculated in DS3 the cancel window for going out of a roll, and it's literally, oh, right here, it's right here. It's literally the same amount of time. Almost the same amount of time. So, and like, the margin of error there, like that is actually surprising to me. So they literally might have just copied the same frame data. Obviously, this is still open for change, right? Like, they're gonna have a networking test, and they're gonna have patches or whatever, or well, before even they release the game. This is, you know, but as we can see, it's basically done off of DS3, right? If we went back to Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 1, it probably would not have the same roll timing. So we know that, like, the roll is basically the same. And then what we can do is actually examine this animation, I wonder. And no, we can't, because he doesn't do anything after it that it doesn't cut from. So, you know, this one's really interesting. It's like Great Magic Sword, but it's vertical. And the only other animation that I think that does it like this is some, I don't know if it's unused, like a certain animation from the Bloodborne's Moonlight, because you know you see Ludwig do this move, and I've seen it on some mods on PC that like take files from Bloodborne, so it actually might be sort of like that. Oh, but there's a step forward. I wonder if that's actually part of it. Interesting.
And they will die.
I'm gonna see any other part. Oh, right, the summon part. So people are talking about this, right? And people are just thinking this means co-op, right? But the thing is that I think these two are NPC summons, but you know, NPC summons, right? They're basically the placeholder if you play offline, right? If you play online, though, then instead you get like real players, right? Mostly. There's going to be more actual player signs than there's going to be NPC summons. So I think that, yeah, there is going to be co-op. And probably invaders too. And the main thing for this is that one leaker, who, like, everything he said so far, basically, like, there's nothing that he said that I think was proven false. So, and he said there would be PvP and co-op. So, oh, and then I think this is a normal enemy. I don't think this is like a NPC player enemy, or, you know, PvP or whatever. Like someone gave that idea, but no, I don't think it's player. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen this, someone mentioned that this enemy was somewhere else in the level, so no. But this whip animation, actually it's kind of slow. I thought it was like the whip R2, but it looks, oh right, the footage is slowed down. But like, if you go into the game, into Dark Souls 3, and take out a whip, like, it's very similar. What was the notification sound with the cat? Miperdona's, it's a running meme on this channel. Oh my god. You guys don't even know, like, just having this trailer in my video editing timeline is just so much more satisfying to watch than the YouTube one because of the bitrate limitation. Like, even though I don't even have like my monitor on 4K mode or whatever, it's just so good. And this boss reminds me a lot of Sekiro, because look at this attack, right? He jumps into the air and like he does a slash, and there's like a horizontal wind sort of projectile that you can jump over. He dodged through it, but we see here that you can also jump. So yeah, I think there's going to be Sekiro jumping, and there's going to be attacks you can do off that, which I'm really happy to see, because in Dark Souls 3, the extent to what we have is this, and it's very bad. Alright, let me read chat a sec. There's a guy with a bunch of horns for a head, and he says something about extinguishing our flame. He looks similar to the king-like guy. Maybe Resident Evil style boss when he's bigger? Maybe. Yeah, the red, like, lightning. It looks like the Mortal Blade. His slashes. It reminds me of the Sekiro Mortal Blade as well. And then this is the lady from the initial reveal trailer. And here, this is 100% a grab attack, right? Like, look at that. That's the sort of things where, you know, people have their jaw drops while they play the game, right?
To be born.
Well, a lowly tarnished.
There's a Bloodborne dodge in addition. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. That literally looked like the Bloodborne dodge. Let me go back. Or it looked like Quick Step, almost. Wait, I need to examine that. That's so... So he's standing. Projectile comes in. That's Quick Step! No way! No shot. That looks like Quick Step. Okay, so if I just take out a Quick Step thing here, right? Does that mean we have Murky and Elden Ring? No. That literally looks like Quick Step. And we can even examine the frames again, right? If it doesn't cut off. It cuts off, though. Oh, no. What you asked for, Bloodborne dodge. What you got. Quick Step. Best I can do is Quick Step, Miyazaki said.
O Lord, to be born.
Well,
Okay, so let's skip ahead.
Lord,
Dude, this is literally Ludwig.
command thee now.
Oh, I like that. Is that like a grab, or is that just like a general pull? That must be a grab. And then this guy, my little brother said he looked like Smoke. He does, but with like a freaking bowl on his head. You know, actually, that sword, it looks a bit like the DS1 greatsword, you know? Like, you know how in DS1, their greatsword looked like a lot like, it was just like a lot thinner and smaller? But now in DS3, it's more like Berserk, and DS2. And then, Info, obviously. Oh, but this I wanted to talk about. Okay, so... this looks like a lot like a running attack that he comes in. Like, if you just notice the camera zoom, it must be a spear running attack, right? But then this part right here, I wonder if it's like weapon art, sort of like the Aquamarine dagger, or if it's also a catalyst and then this is just a spell. And then this is basically Soulstream, right? Or some version of Soulstream. The Great Shield walking back, that's funny.
Brandish the Elden Ring.
Yeah, another jump. Oh wait, it ends there. Well, here, we can go back. So, one thing someone brought up to me, while there's the horse summoning, was... Okay, so horse combat. So, yeah, I think horse combat, I wonder how many moves, how many different things you can do fighting on horses. Because there's a couple that we see here. There's, like, just, it looks like there's like an upswing, right? Like you hold, I'm guessing you hold it down, right? And then choose when to swing up. But does the other guy even attack here?
¿Me perdonas?
So that's what I'm curious about. And then we also see a jump move. If I skip forward here, there's a jump off horse move. Like here, like it looks like there's like some sort of weird magical bounce pad thing. And then he hops over here, and then I'm guessing goes on to like the level past there. And then he unsummons his horse as we see the horse fades out. Like it gets, like he literally turns down its opacity. Jumps off and does some sort of plunging attack. I wonder if this is a plunging attack or if the whole move like goes out like this, right? But then, what's really interesting here is he does basically what is rather a recreation or an exact copy of the Old Wolf Curve Sword move. So I'm gonna get out the Old Wolf Curve Sword just to show you. In DS3. And it's basically exactly the same. So if I get out the Old Wolf Curve Sword, we'll do the weapon art, and then the R2 follow-up. Did it too late. But notice that spin. And jump back, and how it like curves over your back.
In an unending curve.
Like, look. That's... yeah. And then this, I wonder if this is an enemy, or like if someone, I think, mentioned that this could actually be your player, but in a sort of like better beast form than what we had in Bloodborne. But like, I don't know what's the basis for that. Does anybody have, you know? Oh yeah, and everybody was saying like it's a Berserk's reference. I really want to read Berserk. Okay. Wait, was that a rolling bow? Yeah, wait. Let me check that roll. So iframes, and then when he lands on his back. Okay, so the footage is slowed down a bit here, but if I just get out a short bow, and we lock on. Does it happen about the same time? Oh, what? No, no, no. Yeah, the moment he gets up here, like we saw in the game, it does basically the same exact animation. So yeah, it's basically copying mostly from DS3's combat. So it's going to be about the same speed and pace.
Is a champion or a lord to be born.
Well,
Now, is there anything more we can see here? We actually saw the character, like, roll here, but, like, do another roll near at the end here, but the problem is... Oh, Naked Man.
Brandish.
Like, it's completely obscured. .240 full-on jump attack? Here, let's see. Wait, but we don't see our character swing. They just jump.
Brandish the Elden Ring.
We know it's like a full jump, right? But we don't see that. Oh, right, this part. Okay, so this is another part I wanted to examine. Someone brought up, like, is this, like, cut? Like, well, it obviously cuts. But if we get the sequence down here, he goes like this. He charges his attack against this monster that showed up. So if we just get out, it's basically the same setup. Basically the same, right? But if we see what actually happens, like, this does not add up. Like, you can't do this, right? Where he basically if this wasn't actually like a different moment in the battle, then how is he blocking now? So someone said like he cancels it, but we're not sure. This could just be a different part, right, in the battle. But it is possible that they considered making charged attacks cancelable, right? Because I can literally do that right now, right? Watch this. We go into the data for straight sword, and then we go to its charged attack. Its first one-handed charged attack. And then we basically add a cancel window for the guard, but shrink it and move it right here. So literally they could implement it as easily as this. So if I do this now, watch this. Ta-da. But it doesn't two-hand, but I would also have to make it two, instead of like using the torch, it would have to two-hand this. But I doubt it actually works like that. Someone proposed that, but I don't think it does work like that. I think it's just a different part. But they might have something, I do expect to be, you know, a slightly different cancel system. Oh! And then this part is really interesting. Notice how when he gets hit, he actually, and he attacks, he swings from the back instead of the front. So maybe that actually, they implement a sort of counter attack system where it does like the second attack maybe of like, let's say this is the second heavy attack of the straight sword instead of the first, right? To make it, you know, like the flow of battle to go better, right? Like here's an example that would work, right? Where if I block with this, right, and then I get a knockback hit or whatever, instead of doing the first R2, it does the second, right? Oh damn, he got up he got up fast. But I hate how it like blocks like this. I really wish they had a cooler blocking animation. Generic farm estate. But yeah.
Elden Ring.
So I think that they're gonna make it so when you attack out of blocking, then it will do something like that. And that's really cool because you know, you move a bit back, right? As if you're trying to avoid their next attack. And then it looks like it's going to be sort of like Bloodborne with enemies like this, where if you hit certain parts, especially like the head, actually this is in DS3 too, where if you hit something like the dancer's head, right, because sometimes some of her attacks makes her head available, and you hit it enough, it will actually be critical. And in Bloodborne, the same can happen with like breaking their legs. And then here we just got a riposte, you know. Okay. Wait. Now, what more should we analyze?
They will fight.
For honor type of counter, perfect deflect thing on weapon block like Sekiro. Oh, that would be really nice because, you know, I'm tired of this thing they do in the trailer where like they are like, oh, here's this big boss you're fighting, right? In every game they'll like do this, every like Dark Souls game, and then they'll be like blocking with like this tiny straight sword, and then they deflect the entire attack. Well, in the real game, you'll just lose all your stability and get guard broken. Was that a yellow Lido hammer? I don't think so. I think that was like just a summoned like sword. Like this guy looks like, well, that it's definitely a hammer that he summoned. Some like temporarily magic hammer. But it's not the Lido's. It's not shaped like it.
They will fight.
What are your thoughts on the magic shown in the trailer? I really like it. We talked about how here, where is it? Near the end. Yeah, these guys that you sneak up on. Like, I don't know if this is a weapon art or if it's a spell. Do you guys think this is a catalyst, or do you think this is like just a spear? I think it's like a spear catalyst. Wait, okay, you guys are saying this thing about that magic, what is it, vertical attack? It's like the, what is it? The Storm Ruler? But I wonder if that's actually the case. So let's give myself the Storm Ruler. Storm Ruler. And then we'll do the attack. And then we'll take a look at it from the side. Wait a second. That actually might be the case. So let me just get the actual animation ID so we can watch it without having to charge it every time. Okay, 219. So if we go down to 219. And we examine this. Now let's go back into the editor and go to that part in the fight where he does the magic slash. That should be 120, a bit past 120.
They will fight.
Okay, so right leg steps forward. Yeah, they may have just actually borrowed from the Stormler then. Let's see the startup. Yeah. I just noticed, for some reason, it actually transfers from, it starts out with the normal stance R1 of the Stormler, like uncharged. That's kind of funny. But yeah, you can see it like holds up like this, and then, so yeah, that's probably just the Stormler. The Firelink Greatsword is pretty different. It's not that, I'm just saying. Like, I know it's like the same kind of vertical attack that's like charged, but
They will
yeah. So that is literally just the Stormler weapon art. We don't know if it will be final, but it's definitely the same animation they used.
and they will die
Possibly edited or whatever, but you know.
in an unending.
Oh, okay, I just noticed something here. When he jumped off, it looks like this is a looping animation, right? Like when you jump off and do an R2, it does this sort of loop. So if I get the old wolf curve sword, and then let's just get this, it does that loop as you're falling. So I think as you're going off the horse like that, that is like a plunging attack, basically. And then another thing, here's one of the sound effects that they use.
In an unending. In an unending.
Where is that sound? So it plays this sound. Like, you know when you do some charge attacks? Here, let me turn up the game volume. Like that sound, and then it does the, like, heavy weapon hitting a ground sound. Like, where's the old wolf again? So it does, like, both of those. So yeah, they always reuse these similar sound effects. It's, like, always used. There's a couple, like, hollow sound effects they also reuse. I'm guessing these guys will have them, too. And then here's another one. When he kills the hollow, or whatever it is, I don't know if they're undead or whatever, it has the same sound effect that I'm pretty sure even Bloodborne has when you kill basically anything. Like the sword shing sound effect, right? Yeah, killed enemy sound. So hey, Newt. Alright, so what do you guys... Is there anything else I missed that, like, I'm not keeping up on chat as well as I want to do? Mention the counter from at 109? What counter? Also, anybody think... does anybody, like... Does this remind anybody of, like, the lion turtles from Avatar? Like, just... Like an island, like a walking island. And then it even has, like, a bell, which is, like, a... You know, if you've ever played Dark Souls, like, it's a really... Just like a thing you see in all of the games. It always, like, represents something.
Elden Ring.
So, the counter. What are you talking about, the counter?
Tarnished.
Are you talking just about the block cancel that we just mentioned? Oh, wait, I messed it up. Oh, also, did I tell you this, Gabri? We found out that, at this fight here, that the roll is exactly the same as Dark Souls 3. Just, we took the frames, we measured the frames of the roll, and how fast it cancels. It has the same exact move cancel window as Dark Souls 3, a quarter of a second after you roll. Okay, now let me go back. The Sekiro whistle sound asset as you call your horse. Okay, I think you call your horse a bit before this. Yeah, it sounds basically the same, but it's a whistle, so. Yeah, oh yeah, Gabri, I told them about that too. How I think it's like a new counterattack thing where it'll use like the second attack or a unique attack when you block and attack after that. Let's see if the iframe data, like, we don't have enough hits to know. Oh, but Gabri, did I tell you, let's go back to this part with the big wolf enemy with the Mortal Blade, VFX on his swings, right, and the projectiles. Where is he again? Yeah, this one. We discovered that someone mentioned, hey, this part right here. Oh, wait. Does it go back? Oh, right here. Okay, we went past it. Someone mentioned, hey, this looks like the Bloodborne dodge. And then I took a closer look and... that's no Bloodborne dodge. You know what that is? Yep. I don't know if it's like an actual skill or like part of the weapon or like what it is, but you know. Absolutely useless. I just have DVR turned off because people tend to get left behind. You can watch the stream after it's finished. The VOD will be publicly available. Yeah, crime time. I'm fine with that too. I'm actually sort of in favor of that if they're going to make it like mechanically feel the same, right? Like that's what made like Sekiro and the other games feel really satisfying. But I do wish with some things, especially like the netcode and a lot of other problems that like are in like all the games, you know, they would actually like put effort into fixing them, right? Instead of being lazy. Jump shows it has iframes. Okay, well, let me see. Does it have iframes? So that thing had iframes, but I don't think the weapon was that close to see that it had iframes or not, right? You don't know how thin the hitbox would be, right? Because it varies a lot, right? For example, where I have the Ring Knight Spear here, I can just turn on the hitboxes so you guys can see. The game really ranges on how realistic the hitboxes are. So take a look at this. That is pretty realistic. Obviously, it's much wider than the actual like hilt of the weapon, but it's pretty reasonable, you would say, right? Now, let me show you if you do something like this. Much, much larger. What about the Black Knight Glaive? That is humongous. Yeah, so... yeah, it really varies in how they do that, right? But I do think... but yeah, Sekiro had slight iframes on the jumps. And that makes sense because it sort of adjusts for, you know, the sort of error when you jump. Like, so you're, you know, you won't get hit just because your feet get clipped, right? By the sweep. And because you jumped at last second, right? Especially when the hitboxes are, like, wider than they appear. So it makes sense for them to have a bit of iframes. Oh, yeah, like, the closest thing we have to that in Dark Souls 3, and I tested this yesterday, is the Gale. And for the bit while you're in the air like this, some attacks can miss, depending on how they're done, right? But there's not much time where you're in the air, so you can't even reaction dodge it, and you can't really dodge it that well with it, right? But it can dodge some things. But yeah, that it's pretty interesting. But yeah, like you would need to have a bit of iframes for that to work properly.
To be
Are you a dev? No, we just have modding tools in 2021, and I understand them.
born.
Okay, so what do you guys want to go over next? Is there anything I haven't addressed? That I could address? How do you think invasions will work? Well, we had that dev, or not dev, what is it, the artist? Like, I think a Chinese artist that did things with the game. He leaked certain things about the game. I think Gabri can mention it. Parries, we don't know. I could technically import, you know, the leaked trailer, but I don't know how accurate that would be to the modern game.
¿Me perdonas? ¿Me perdonas?
And he's right about everything so far, basically. Curved sword attack later in the trailer? Where later in the trailer? I know in the beginning of the trailer there's some curved sword attacks, but yeah, there's like the old wolf swing and the plunging attack that we talked about. Is there any puzzles in the game? We don't know yet. DS1 parries would look in DS3? Well, I can't do that right now. I can't import and put the animation onto the skeleton. Like that.
Come on, Dean.
Oh, and look, there's actually some claws. I just realized. I wonder if the walking, no, when you lock on and walk. Actually, no, it's pretty similar. But wait a second. Wait, 1 second. He's locked on. Oh, but it's just slow-mo. So we don't know. But it looked like he was walking in that direction, like with the body facing that direction, while locked on. And when you do that normally in the game, it does this. Unless you're running, it won't do that, right? But if he is running, then that means you also are looking at your target while you're running, while locked on. Interesting.
¿Me perdonas?
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. I wonder if we can, like, speed up the footage in some of these parts. Hey, when the multi-handed man smashes his axe into the ground, isn't the what big axe? Well, wait. That's a good point. What part is it at? Well, he smashed it in the ground. We don't see after, but if we skip a bit forward. Well, there's some wind, like, tornado stuff going on here, definitely. But I wonder how much is that from, like, actual, like, magic and what's from, you know. Is that a spell, a copy of Soulstream? Yeah, that spell you saw was a copy of Soulstream. I think it's literally going to be called Soulstream. Are we going to be able to backflip? We don't know. We don't see. Boss battles appear to abuse the use of horse in some themes. Wait, where can you... Yeah, I think there's like a fight or two where you can use them. Or maybe you can always use them, it's just not advantageous in some fights, you know? Like, I think the one with this fire-breathing dragon, I'm pretty sure we saw from the leak trailer that someone was using a horse, and I think here you use a horse, right? Against this dragon? Yeah. which makes sense because there is a much more open area. Also, Gabri mentioned this. It's sort of like the reverse of Dark Souls, where the dragon's throwing lightning at you instead of you throwing
¿Me perdona?
lightning at the dragons. Oh, that's like a lightning stake. Wait, what does it do? Wait. Oh, it made a circle. It's like lightning storm. Look at that. It throws it into the ground, and then you can see like an expanding circle, right? And there's a bunch of like pieces of the lightning, right, spreading out, because that's how lightning storm works. Actually, let me attune it real quickly.
¿Me perdonas?
And I just unlock the requirements. So if I cast it, notice how it like splits off in bits and pieces, right? And it can be obstructed by projectiles, or I mean, obstacles. Also, yeah. Horse double jumped. Yeah! It just jumped off of nothing. Yeah, it like some magic appeared under, so it must be like some limited use jumping. Which, it's sort of going to be like in Hollow Knight, right? Where you gain the double jump ability and then it's very useful for some situations. It actually became like a crutch for me because when I tried to play the game like over, like without all the abilities, like on a new save file, like I was just like crippled. Like, where's my double jump? Where's my wings?
Oh Lord. To be
Horse can roll dodge and backstab you.
born.
240 is so blood. You might be talking about the roll again.
¿Me
Oh,
perdonas?
alright, wait. Oh my god, that enemy? I don't know why I haven't paid attention to that enemy right here, though. Right here? That looks so cool. Like, it looks like you're doing some sort of jumping or running attack or something, or it almost looks like the Artorias front flip. And he just bounces off the ground to counterattack you. And just flies in the air. That's really cool. Could the boss with the red laser attacks be intimidating Artorias move? Imitating. Are you talking about the wolf dude or the lion dude? I keep saying wolf, but I think he's more like a lion.
¿Me perdonas?
I command thee.
Yeah, right here.
Well,
No, he's back here, right? Yeah. Yeah! With this animation, yeah, that is probably gonna be some Artorias thing. I think it's more like Berserk though, right? Okay, yeah, he's definitely like a lion. But, well, I mean, Artorias in itself is a Berserk reference.
Is a champion.
¿Me perdonas?
So it's two with, like, one stone. And grabbing you at 240? Well, yeah.
Flower. Is a champion. Oh Lord.
Did he roll through the attack? That looks like Quick Step from DS3. Not, some people thought it was a Bloodborne dodge, but I think it's Quick Step from Dark Souls 3. Wait, what's this area? It looks sort of like the Nexus, you know? From Demon Souls? Also, someone mentioned, like, how did the the dude jump. Okay, well he's... I think he already is in the air.
¿Me perdonas?
What the hell? How did that happen? Did he jump or was he like that's such a weird jump. Maybe the swing itself projected him
Is a champion
into the air?
or
Jumped off the horse. No, there was no horse. Wait. Or is... No, that's your player.
champ?
Wait. Oh, I don't see anything. He might have jumped off his own blade. His own summon blade.
Is a champion
That is pretty cool.
or a lord to be born?
Well, that is a big enemy. What is he holding? That's a really weird weapon. Wait, he did this and then he appeared in front of them. Okay, so it must have been some time after that. I wonder if this is like a covenant thing or whatever. Like, why does your character kneel in front of this character? Oh god, imagine this hand. It looks like you're using like Fire Surge against him. Like, yeah, you're standing here and the fire's hitting him. But, yeah, it's quite useless. I don't know what our character's thinking. Monstrosity of cringe. And then there's this thing, which looks like some sort of chariot. I don't know if this thing is living. This is not its eye, right? It's some other creature's eye. Like, yeah, this just looks like some sort of chariot. And like the DS2 chariot. It's gonna be like that. Imagine. There's some giant. And then, is that the same hand from before? Driving this person? I wonder. I think the crumbled area might be the Nexus. Well, issue I don't think it's going to be connected to Demon Souls because that's like an IP owned by, what is it, Sony? But people have floated the idea of like Soulsborne games being connected. Oh yeah, Dark Phoenix, like Black Pyromancies in DS1 were, what is it, like sort of like a darkish red, right? They weren't like full black like in DS3. So that could be like that. Yeah, this looks like so much like the Nexus. It has a ton of Dark Souls 3 animations we see. Yeah, new. That's what we guessed, right? Because it doesn't make sense unless, like, you can't even block with a torch and it just makes you two-hand your weapon, which makes even less sense, so I doubt it. Oh man, this looks so cool. Actually, this is the same area that he's running through. Does he try to stomp on you? No, he's probably just walking and you're running past him. God, these walking pod enemies. Imagine. Imagine you can loot them and they're gonna be like mimics. Oh, let me examine actually, you know, let's do a bit of a meme here. and examine the ladder animations. Okay. They're probably exactly the same. Okay, how long does it take after the hand lands on one of them to hit the next one? Oh, we don't even see. Here, how about after one hand lands, like right here. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I just... Oh, right, we don't even see then. It just sees it reach up. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But, yeah, it's probably the same as one of the previous games. I don't know why they would make a unique ladder animation. Please, no favor glitch. Have you seen the screenshots on the official website yet? No. Actually, I think I saw St. Riot looking at them. Do you guys have a link to that? Actually, no. You'd have to send it to me by Discord. Here, what's the website? It definitely is at the same pace, and a lot of animations are from DS3. But maybe it's like... Oh, it could literally just be like eldenring.com. Elden Ring website. Elden Ring official website. Yes, I am over 16 years old. Okay, so new fantasy world, something. Are these? Yeah, these are all the screenshots.
¿Me perdonas?
Is this all the screenshots? I feel like there was much more. Yeah, there must be much more. At the top of the page of on the left? Ah, 24. There we go. Wow, look at this. It reminds me of, what is it? The Ariandel parasite things, and then that one area in Sekiro. Yeah, this thing is probably going to be a very important character. Because he was, like, I'm pretty sure in one of the cover arts. Oh god, imagine these giants.
¿Me perdonas?
Oh yeah, and there's the pot things we talked about previously. Sort of like pot mimics. And here's some horseback fighting. I really hope the horseback fighting is good. What is this? This looks like... This looks like PvP almost, you know? Like this guy is like, you know, literally just wearing a metal mask using a flail, and this guy's like in full knight armor or whatever, but he's still begging for his life, you know? Guy looks like a rune sentinel. But yeah, it's just the type of helmet. This guy looks like what is it? The what are those things called? You know, like in Yol in DS3, just with the oval shape. But yeah, something else. Okay, well we know you can fight the giants, and this is interesting. There's like a magic shield. It looks sort of like the Dark Hand, you know. And then there's a bird But the thing is, they're using sort of like a cube, but it's sort of more like purple. But I remember earlier in the trailer, or sometime in the trailer, when you summon those blue phantoms, you crush like a, or hold a blue cube. Where is it? It's... Yeah, right here. Summon them. Yeah, right there. Or maybe it is the same color and it's just, you know, the perspective. And then see, from your body it radiates. It sort of reminds me of Bloodborne. Actually, like it like warps the space visually. Yeah, so it might be your catalyst. Why did it skip? Oh, did it finish? Did I get to the end? Uh-oh. No. God damn it. Running out of material. I want to examine more. We just gotta look deeper. Hey, look, the same screeching noise. So yeah, the lightning storm. We know. What's the beginning frame of this grab? Yeah.
To be born.
Yeah, it's pretty standard actually.
Well, a lowly tarnished, playing as a lord. I command thee now.
Wonder if that's the knockdown animation from Fire. But it's so slow and we have so few frames, like relative to the speed, that we can't exactly see. Like, the Fire knockback animation in DS3 looks like this. So if you just get out Fire knockback, then it looks like this. So if I, here, let me pause my character. And then if we... So going back, how similar is it? I'm curious. Also, the running animation, look how similar that looks to, you know, this literally looks like the Brigand armor. Like, I bet if I run with a mace, what is it, the great wooden mace? Hammer. Then, should be very similar, right? Yeah. This must be a cutscene, right? Like, why would your character get stunned like that? Or maybe they do actually have animations like that that are out of cutscenes, right? Where your character will actually just, like, you know... Oh, I'm excited for crouching. So we know that crouching is in... Actually, did you know, I think Lance McDonald did a video on this, where crouching was actually possibly going to be a mechanic in Dark Souls 3. Like, I think he showed something with, like, you crouching down and holding the shield over your head. So, they might have actually had that in Dark Souls 3, but it didn't come to fruition. Actually, I think I have something else for that. Here, let me quickly switch this, and then get out this. Okay, now I just need to get the player scripts that are like actually that from actually put in. Then from there, you can actually see that crouching. I'm pretty sure that crouching was a thing, right? So right here, and then should be define right here.
¿Me perdonas?
Define 0, 0, 0. Okay. And if we look in here, I'm pretty sure there was something about crouching. Like player state crouching. Let's look up crouch. Yep, move state crouch. Look, so now let me open this up. So you guys can see. Display capture. And look at here. So this is a bunch of defines for the player's like internal like mechanics or whatever. Like camera mode, normal, zoom in, zoom out. And then there's stuff like move state base and then move state crouch. So this is unused. And there's something like move state snow. Upper state, oh well, there's something else. But yeah, so crouching was gonna be in there. Hey, Indride, thank you for the 26. I think I remember that was like what country's currency that is. I think I remember Chase being donated one of those, and then people were asking. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff here, probably some of it unused. But yeah, I think Lance McDonald actually has like a more videos going like deep into the sort of unused things that they were going to implement. Is enable crouch? Well, it's obviously not working, even if it's in the game. But yeah, it is there. So I think someone said, let me go back. Someone asked, go over all the weapons that we see the player using. So let's just go through. See the closest thing we have to them. Oh, what? Why did it do that? There we go.
The Tarnish. Guided by grace, once lost. The Golden Order is broken to its core.
Okay, we can't see it. But I'm pretty sure this character just uses like what looks very similar to the DS3 longsword. And actually we can see what the enemies are using as well. Oh! Wait.
¿Me perdonas?
This looks not exactly like the longsword. It looks more like the bastard sword. Yeah.
Foul tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition. Someone must extinguish thy flame.
Actually, I just noticed on this sword, I think it might be different. It looks like a marking on the sword. So it's different from the long sword we saw earlier. Wait, I want to see this. Yeah, it definitely is a different sword. And wait a second, did that... Did that turn blue the moment he got hit? Or was it blue before? I think it was blue before. So yeah, that's a different sword. Oh, right! It was the same sword that he used the magic thing with. So, it must be a weapon art or also a catalyst, right? Probably a weapon art.
And they will die.
Wait a minute. Okay, I'm dumb. From earlier, I thought this was the same character that jumped up and then did this. But that doesn't make sense. It's a completely different outfit and a completely different weapon. So we have this sword that is basically the equivalent of the old Wolf Curve sword. It's not nearly as big or wide, but it's basically the successor. And then someone mentioned that, look at that. There's something around the player. It's like a buff. Something you would see, like there's these streaks going up. Like this. Like these blue streaks that you see if you have this ring, or if you take... Yeah. Or some regen, I'm pretty sure, actually does that as well. Okay, that is a catalyst. 100%. Look at that. Just how it cuts off here. 100%. This has to be some sort of boss weapon. I couldn't imagine. Obviously it would be smaller, just like it is in all the Souls games when you get a boss weapon, but it must be. Could you imagine the weapon art?
¿Me perdonas?
Okay, sorry, 1 second, I had to deal with something. But what I wanted to say was, yeah, there probably will be the boss weapons. But I wanted to, I think that this is a quick step weapon. Look, right hand, left hand. Both of them have a dagger. So it's going to be like the Brigand twin daggers, I think. And have the weapon art of quick step. Because, as we saw, our character actually did quick step through this, and it looks almost exactly like it. There's actually a zooming effect, you'll notice, like white streaks as you move. So yeah. That is quick step.
Champion or lord to be born.
Okay, wait. Did we miss any weapons from the player? I mean, we can very briefly see, like, the shield and what they use, but it's very far away. Like, we can sort of only assume that it's the longsword. Although the armor looks so familiar. Like, I mean... Where's the regular knight helm? Like, I mean... Like, there's no, it's not the elite knight, because there's no guys, but yeah, it's definitely very Dark Souls feel. Imagine that. But, I wonder if there's any other weapons. Well, that looks closest to the, what is it? Master Swords. Oh, wait a minute! Did I mention that this guy's sword, and since he's sort of like, you know, Berserk, Artorias reference generally, it looks, how his sword is sort of like half broken, right? And how its edge looks, it reminds me a bit of Gale's sword, right? Especially during his fight, because it's like smoking and there's red fog and whatever, right? So, and yeah, Artorias himself is a sort of Berserk and Artorias reference, so they're literally just building references on top of references, it feels. Like, see, I'm pretty sure, like, it only has one side of the hilt.
Oh Lord.
What's her sword like? Does her sword even have, like, a... Her sword is straight up just, like, a blade. That's straight up just, like, a knife. I don't know what to call it. Like a machete, right? No, but even a machete has a handle, right? There's literally no handle. And that guy has a couple weapons. Oh, there we go. A curved sword. This one looks a bit like there's a notch here. And then there's also another sword on his left hand. Is it the same? We can't really see it. I think it is. So it might be another duel. Yeah, wait. There's a notch on the back side of that instead. So I wonder if it's just an offhand weapon or if it is actually like a dual wield. So yeah, it's probably another dual wield weapon, and this looks like some sort of like golden hammer or something. We can't exactly see. Some metal hammer. And then here is not Smoke. He even does have a hammer. And he has, but yeah, he has also that freaking bowl on his head. And then I mentioned before that this looks like the, whatchamacallit, DS2 Greatsword. Or no, DS1 Greatsword. Like, is there a picture of it? No, not the Greatsword of Artorias. Yeah, this one. Like, just looking at that handle. But it's probably in the Greatsword class. And then, that? What is that? Can't really see too much. Is it a... What kind of edge is that? Reminds me a bit in shape of, like, the Dark Sword. But yeah, they made sure to use a diversity of weapons in here. Okay, one of those guys look like they have an S-stock and crossbow. they're the DS3 meta. They're DS3 meta players. They have S-stocks and X-bows. But yeah, again, wait, I can't see the hilt of, like, the actual blade of this weapon. That our main character. It looks like a glaive. Wait, that might be like the Black Knight glaive. It clipped through him. But, like, if you're looking just at the edge here, Looks like it has like a notch on the back of my glaive. And then look here. It looks like he's doing the second R1 of a glaive. Let me just show you. Here, let me turn off the hitboxes so it's a bit more clear.
¿Me perdonas?
Yep. But yeah, I think it also has like a weapon art for magic. Sort of like the Stormruler copy one we saw from earlier. So there's gonna be like multiple aquamarine daggers in this game. And this I'm pretty sure is just a straight catalyst, looking at that edge. And then this we mentioned, it looks like some claws. And this guy, I remember in Saint's stream, I think people were saying he looked like the Pursuer. Okay, this, I wonder what you guys' opinion on is this the player shooting like fire surge at this hand? Or what is it? Chaos Fire Surge. Wait, was Chaos Fire Surge a different spell than normal Fire Surge in DS1 or something? Well, and then here we have some sort of Great Shield, because it's in this position. This is like the exact same position it's held in DS3. And then this is a... it looks like the ordinary Dark Souls 1 spear, like just the one that you get with the starting class. And he doesn't have any weapons there. But this one. This I'm very confused by. We have very few frames here. Literally, like, what? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. But look, we can actually see the streak go down. So this looked like some sort of jump attack or lunge attack, or it almost looks like the Artorias flip. Do I have Artorias' sword? Yes, I do. So just look at this. Like, look at that. You can't tell me that does not look like it. But we don't get the frames before. So we don't know how close it is. And what kind of, like, does it even do a front flip before that? We don't know. How does the animations look like when you have, like, a great sword and, like, a small shield when you're running? Does it look similar? I feel like the walking animation is quite different here. Yeah, it's less bent over your shoulder. Like, it's actually more straight up.
The Elden Ring.
But, yeah, this looks like a different greatsword than we've seen anywhere else. But yeah, there are a couple weapons. Maybe I could make, like, a list of the weapons that we've seen in the video. I definitely want to make a video on the few of the things I found here. Because some of this stuff is directly taken from other games, like Dark Souls 3 especially. Do you think there will be a revive system like Sekiro? I don't think so. All we know from Sekiro is mainly like the jumps, right? And some other minor things. Like also this whistle. Actually, I think in Sekiro when you blow the whistle too, it has this sort of effect, right? And it has that same sound. But, yeah.
Aim of ambition. Someone must.
Maybe I'll pick up on some things later. Is there any last things you guys want me to look at before I close up? Is it bad that there's a big influence from DS games? Not really. It depends, you know. Go back to the flip sword? What about the flip sword? Maybe the phantoms a little bit? What about them? Can you do a quick recap? I just realized. Okay, we could do a last final recap. So, I'll address everything from start to finish, but first what I'm gonna take a look at is what this person... PvP at 140? I don't think there's PvP at 140. No, that's a normal enemy that you see earlier in the level. And notice how his face looks and how he holds the thing. I think this is just like some normal soldier enemy, not a player. And these phantoms are fighting with you. I think they're NPC summons, but I do think there will be co-op in PvP. So let's go from start. Just listen to... Okay. Sure, I'll... Yeah, you're right! No shot. Okay, so... Let's get this. Demon Souls trailer. It has a do... Oh, I don't know how to exactly describe it. Let's go and grab... Demon Souls Remake Reveal Trailer. I don't think it's the exact same motif, like someone could break it down, but... I definitely like the... Where's the part with the gargoyles? Oh, wait. Not exactly the same, but it definitely has, like, a really similar feeling right there. The mannequin claws? I already mentioned those. Okay, so let's go over every single detail that we picked up on so far. Let's go! So... we're gonna go over every detail that I can remember.
The tarnished will soon return, guided by grace.
If there's anything else I missed that you guys want me to take a look at, you can leave a comment on this stream. Like after it's finished, and then when I make like a video going over all the details I found, then maybe I can address it, right? If it's not already addressed by somebody else, right? Like we'll have to see if like what Vadi addresses, right, as well. Because I want to mainly do the stuff that people like Vadi are probably not going to go over, like the fact that the role is the same exact one from DS3. There's some of the weapons and what they're taken from, etc., etc. So you know. We'll go over the details I mainly found.
The Golden Order is broken to its core.
¿Me perdonas?
Okay, Sekiro whistle. Sword looks like the bastard's sword. And, yeah, horse combat. It's pretty obvious. Seems to be the same sort of walking and ladder animations as previous Souls games. Especially the torch.
of the Elden
Same straight sword charged R1 animation.
¿Me perdonas?
Same straight sword block animation. And then there's this special thing, which seems to be a new mechanic, where if you attack after blocking any attack, it will do a special counter attack move instead of a normal like light attack or heavy attack, I'm guessing. And I think that's even a special sound there. And then there, riposte, obviously.
flame
I think because he hit the head.
ambition.
And then here, some important details.
Must extinguish thy flame.
So, heavy knockback animation with the shield that's very similar to Dark Souls 3's, or if not the exact same. And then this roll animation, it's exactly like Dark Souls 3's, as if we go back to right here. Where is it? The side roll, we'll see that if we go to 0.73 seconds, I think. Where is it? Ah, right here. If we go to 22 frames, or 0.73 seconds, then that's where you can actually walk out. And then after that, you can even guard because you'll be walking. And so, in the trailer, we actually broke down the frames. And if we look here, from here to here, that measures enough frames to get 0.733 seconds. So that's almost the exact same recovery time, right, on the roll. Right, the cancel time for moving, right? So that's basically exactly like DS3. And then again, a similar block animation. And then finally here, this is just, we found the Stormwiller animation from Dark Souls 3. You put your sword up like this, and then as it comes down, you put they put their right foot down, stomp down as they do the attack. So it's literally just the Stormwiller animation on that magic weapon art, as we see.
Will die. In an
And then off of the horse, it looks like you can do plunging attacks, as this looks like a looping animation. Like after you do the startup, as he's falling, you'll see that this animation sort of drags on until he finally hits the ground, and then it does plunge. And then, what we see here is what looks like the Old Wolf Curved Sword weapon art animation. So just take a look here. So it's almost exactly the same. Notice this lead back and how it rests on the back. Okay, now let's go back. Oh, and then here's an important detail. The bonfires might actually still be used as a checkpoint, because notice how someone pointed this out in chat, where your character actually has streak buffs around them as they're around the bonfire. So, for example, notice these streaks when you have the buff, right? And then on some region items, it might be on the Filianor's Chime. Yep, look at this, these streaks. So the bonfire might be passively healing you, right? It might not be the same as Dark Souls, but it's definitely doing something. And then here is an important part. These things may be catalyst or I think they double as catalyst as what we saw from the screenshot. And it looked like they were also having like a shield and like some bird summon from that. So it might be for specifically online play, or maybe it's just things in general, right? Could you imagine if you had to play mage or invest some int if you wanted to play online? You wanted to like summon people? But yeah, these two, they look quite similar, so people think that they're NPC summons. Although from like the website and other things and the leakers, it seems that there's going to be online play, which means co-op and PvP. And this is not another player. This is a normal enemy that we've seen, I'm pretty sure, previously in the video. And just looking at his like animation with the sword up and such, and the stun animations, it seems that they are not a player, they're an NPC. And then the NPC summon seems to do the same whip R2 move that is in Dark Souls 3. And the recovery time, or the time to do a bow rolling attack out of a roll, seems to be the same as in Dark Souls 3, and it seems to be almost the same exact animation. So, for example, so when I get back face up, then I do the bow shot. Okay. Then we notice here that this looks like a boss fight that you can even ride your horse in, so that's confirmed. Then there's also, this appears to be a catalyst, right? It looks very similar to, if you've seen the Soul of Cinder's catalyst. Then, this dragon actually uses what looks like a recreation of Lightning Storm. As you'll see once it hits the ground, a wave of lightning projectiles going out in different directions, and they sort of dissipate. But you notice here that there's gaps. And I think it's because there's obstacles, and then once they hit the obstacles, they stop. But the ones that don't keep spreading out. And just to show you that this is Lightning Storm, watch what happens when this hits the wall. You'll notice that like it goes and sort of yeah, and obstacles can stop it from going to certain places. So I think that is like some sort of lightning storm that the recreation of lightning storm that the boss has. Then there's this boss, which seems to be some sort of lion knight thing, and looking at the sword and the red smog and how it's sort of like, I think it's chipped, right? Like this left side is missing its part, like, and it seems damaged as well. It reminds me a lot of Gale's sword. And to cement that further, we can see how this enemy fights, which is really interesting and really cool, with the jumping around and just the movement in general. It gives... It's very similar to Artorias. And then on top of that, we're not sure if this boss is just like flying off his own swing, or if he's flying off his projectile. Like, what is he jumping off here? So a lot of people in chat thought it was the projectile that he shot, and I think that's the most likely case. And then two other things here. To get through the projectile without getting hit, the character does some sort of special dodge. And some people originally thought this was the Bloodborne dodge, but what I believe it is, especially with the streak, and you'll see here in a sec, the weapon that they were using, and also just the details of the animation. Notice how when they start it, turn, crouch down sort of, and sort of bounce low, right? And then land like this. That actually makes me believe that's not a Bloodborne dodge, and instead is Quick Step from Dark Souls 3. Which looks very similar. How they sort of duck down and then land like that. And then, what I said about the weapon, what about the weapon that the player is using that makes me think it's a Quick Step weapon. You can see here that they jump over this attack, but once you get a spot on the weapon, you can see that there's two daggers in both hands. And that cements it further, because in Dark Souls 3, it's mostly daggers, or it might be only daggers that have Quick Step, and there's even the Brigand Twin Daggers, which are twin daggers that have Quick Step.
Lord, to be born.
I think the only thing we pointed out here, that this is a grab attack, and that her weapon has no hilt. And then, what did we point out here?
says the Lord.
Looks a lot like Ludwig with all these limbs. And then this enemy has some sort of like machete sword thing. Don't know. He's covered in like wire, it seems, or something. And he also has some sort of magical power to grab your player. So it's like a grab attack, and then I think he finishes by like slamming you on the ground with his own weapon. On top of that, it looks like the player at this moment, and this is like the same armor that we see in several parts in the video. It seems he has some sort of special like dual like scimitar curved sword weapon. So you'll notice here that it has like a notch right here, but then the other sword is also somewhat curved, but doesn't appear to have the notch, and has a, you know, like actually a hilt or a handle. Or guard, that's what it's called. And then this player seems to have some sort of hammer. There's some fire knockback animation that when they get hit by fire, similar to when you get hit by a deer. And then this guy, he just looks like Smoke with a bull on the head and a different hammer. And then this looks sort of like some sort of great sword. It looks sort of like the great sword in Dark Souls 1. And then I wonder if this is a cutscene, because you'll notice how the character sort of reels like in reaction to this. So I wonder if that is a cutscene. And I wonder what this sword is. It sort of reminds me of the Dark Sword in shape. But actually from this perspective, there's a bit of green there, and it made me think it was like the Moonlight Greatsword for a second, but I doubt it. If there's the Moonlight Greatsword in here, it's probably much cooler looking. Then there's the crouching mechanic, which actually was going to be a mechanic in Dark Souls 3 likely, as we saw in some of the game's scripting. There's something like enable crouch, player state crouch, something like that. So that's really interesting. But after he sneaks up on these enemies, he does a running attack. Not one that we've actually seen. Like, there's probably maybe in DS1 or DS2 there's a running attack like this. But I believe this is a glaive, as you'll see when he does this attack. Like, just looking at his body. It looks very similar to the Dark Souls 3 glaive attack. Second glaive R1. So I believe they skipped to that moment. Then it looks like this is rather a catalyst or weapon art, which extends the glaive with like some magic enhancement. Sort of like the Aquamarine. And this is just Soulstream from like all the previous Souls games that had it. And then this looks like some sort of claw weapon. And it looks like the character here is looking at the boss while running. So that might be a thing where instead of while locked on and you're running, you're looking the direction you're running in. It might actually look at the enemy. While normally you can only look at the enemy if you're walking, or you're just normally walking or running. But if you're like sprinting, yeah, it does not look at the target. But that might actually change. And then we think this is some sort of like, someone mentioned like Chaos Fire Surge from DS1. Like I didn't even know there was like a Chaos variant in DS1. And then this looks like the normal spear from DS1. There's some Great Shield. It has like the same Great Shield holding animation as in the other Souls games. And then this right here, the player's attack here is some sort of greatsword or ultra great sword. It looks almost like the Artorias front flip, as it looks like it's jumping, and then if you'll see, it's sort of off screen, but they swing down, and you can see the streak here. And it looks, yeah, a lot like the Artorias Wolf Leap from Dark Souls 3. But I don't know, I don't think it will be the exact move, but it must be some sort of jumping attack. Wait, let me get FP. Like if you're just looking at that. I just froze it, mid-animation. Yeah, this enemy just looks really cool, and that's all I have to say. Walking animation seems to be pretty different from DS3 here. Reminds me of like more like Demon Souls or something probably.
Friend.
¿Me perdonas?
Another example of the roll here. If we actually measured it with the walking, probably would have been similar. Actually, no, I think it cuts before it even walks. And then here is an actual jump. Like you might have seen in different parts of the trailer. Jumping, like actually jumping like in Sekiro is going to be a thing. Which is really exciting because in the previous other Souls games, all we had was this, which is a poor excuse for a jump. So now we might actually finally have verticality. Oh, there's a couple other things I think I missed that we mentioned, we went across, but I think that covers basically most of it. Okay, hear me out. Fat roll deep swamp with overgrown poisonous insects. Yeah, that's realistic. Kind of looks like the boss is pulling the player. Nah, I think it's just that pose. Well, I definitely think this character is going to be important because he's been on like several cover art things, right? With like all the hands. What if when we die, we can pick up the sword and fight with the horse? We control the horse, and then we backstab people as the horse? I hope she's actually work without you just putting the weapon to the pocket dimension. Oh, right, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, let me just sort through. I'm pretty sure actually if you slow down the game, it's really fast, but when you swap weapons, the weapon actually like shrinks and grows really fast. The dude with the wings has the same armor as the knight standing to the girl in the chair. Oh, it's, again, sort of like the pursuer because he can fly. But, yeah, that's interesting. Big running hand boss is connected to the same guy with big running face guy. So that's hella Nintendo. Is our player mute like in every Souls game? We don't know. There's only Chaos Fire Whip, so yeah, it's probably just some sort of fire surge. The dude with the wings color scheme looks like a Covenant color? Yeah, that's a good point. Like I thought Spear of the Church. Yeah, it could be the case, or it could just be the lighting, or some other thing, but yeah, it almost reminds me of Spear of the Church. PvP is confirmed? By leakers, yes. By the developers, no, I don't think so. Saw blue phantoms, but no red phantoms? Yeah, they probably want to show co-op first. Like, I'm pretty sure, like in the Demon Souls trailer, or one of them, I think there was, co-op shown, but no PvP shown, but it was confirmed that there would be PvP. What if you could actually play the boss? Yeah, that would be really cool if like something like this boss was actually controlled by a player, you know, with a Covenant. Did you address the law trick? Okay, fine, I will. Where is it? What point? Yeah, it doesn't need to be in the main trailer.
¿Me perdonas?
Yeah, and I'm guessing the Lotric guy is, you know, not even, yeah, it's not supposed to be like Lotric. We might get a confirmation in E3 in an interview? I don't know. Gabri would probably, he played in the previous network tests for the games, so he would probably know what time that would likely be around. Yeah, there probably is, Max. Can I give my horse the Nestus flask? I hope you can, you know. I wonder actually what will be the healing in this game. It's really hype all around. But yeah, like don't expect FromSoft to constantly be giving out updates. I don't know how they do it. What if there's no healing? Yeah, you just have your fixed amount of health until you die. One thing I wanted to mention was, so I don't know how much Elden Ring news we'll get over time, right? So I think my main focus with Elden Ring is first making into a quick and short video what I found in this trailer and what that sort of explains for like what we know about how like PvP, how just gameplay, how we'll play, like what the pace of combat will be like, and it will be like Dark Souls 3, and we'll have things like Sekiro's jumping mechanic. And then from there, I think I'm gonna make a series of videos, talking with some people experienced in the Souls PvP community and such. And we can talk about how to improve the game's PvP and like where each game did right and which each game did wrong, and then hopefully, if FromSoft is able to see these videos, right? Because Gabri told me early 2016 or whatever, like when the game just came out, Dark Souls 3. Some people actually made some videos about problems, and they actually did patch the game over it, so. Yeah, I intend on making those videos, and then hopefully, you guys will find them really interesting, and possibly From Software will see them, and then, you know, maybe the game could actually have some major problems fixed in advance. Okay, Lotric Armor guy is at 237. Oh, it's just, yeah, he just has a quirky helm. And he's just studying scriptures. FromSoft will give us 2 DLCs and abandon the game? Yeah. Sad. But yeah, if we can get things to be as good as possible before like the release of the last DLC, then that would be cool. But maybe there'll be something different about Elden Ring, because I think it's going to be their biggest game so far, so maybe it'll be different, and it's going to be like their main title that they'll be supporting for a long time. We can only hope. Yeah, someone mentioned that it could be possible that, you know, deflecting with something like a sword at the right time would give you more like stability than just holding block. So maybe that might be a thing, but we don't know. But holy shit, this was amazing to get today. But yeah, I think I looked at mostly what I wanted to look at. Maybe I'll post a video soon with my findings, but yeah, this stream was really fun to do, and I'm really glad that we actually got the trailer today. Like, it was just like insane getting that at the end, right? Or maybe the Legend 27, it would enable you to do the counterattack animation. It even sounded to have like a special sound, so it's almost like a parry and riposte almost, but it's not like an actual riposte, right? Like it's not an interactive animation. But yeah, I think I looked at what all I wanted to look at. So yeah, I'm going to head off, go eat, and do some other stuff. You know, work on some other videos and projects. Yeah, this was an excellent time, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Parries are definitely going to be in the game. I don't know, Dr. Gaming, you would have to look at previous games to know if they would show the final boss. But yeah, see you guys.